I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.
Hi guys, this is Daniel Alexander Cannon here on Logic Before Authority. If you've seen my last video, well, if you haven't, you should immediately go back and watch it. It has to do with discovering who our reddish, orange-faced man is. You know, the one that can't afford a decent makeup artist and always has a reddish face. And the reasons for that. It ties to the Edomites. As it says in the article you're looking at here, it said Trump could initiate building of third temple as head of Edom. Who is Edom? Edom is Esau, the twin brother of Jacob out of the Bible in Genesis. But it gets crazier. Oh my gosh. As I've started diving on down this hole, it gets crazier. And I'm going to show you here in just a minute how crazy it gets. Here it talks about, and this isn't it, but here it talks about Trump embodies Esau. This is the way they spelled it. But this is Esau, return of redemption nears. And if we come down here, it'll go into it. And it shows right here that Trump is the embodiment and reincarnation of biblical Esau, the twin brother of Jacob. As such, will play a major role in aiding Jacob's descendants, the nation of Israel, in bringing the Messiah. Now, we all know the Messiah already came. Yahushua HaMashiach, Jesus the Christ, already came. But guess what? This is just insane. You ever heard of King Harold? Or Herod? King Herod or Harold? Do you know what role he played? See, he was a Edomite, okay? Just like Esau. Esau is Edom. And the Edomites, one of the greatest Edomites of all time, was said to be, other than Esau, and there's some other ones, but King Harold. Now, King Harold, he has a very interesting history. Harold kills the children. You see, when Christ was born, King Harold, well, I think you know the story. Let's read it here a little bit. So, of course, this is when Jesus was born in Bethlehem of Judea, in the days of Herod the king, behold, there came wise men. They were called the Magi, or the Magi. It was called Magi because there were plural. There were more than one. Maga was the word for a wise man or a wizard or sorcerer. Okay? Yeah, I know. This is crazy. So saying, where is he that is born King of the Jews? For we have seen his star in the east and are coming to worship him. This is the Magi, right? When Harold the king had heard these things, he was troubled, and all Jerusalem with him. And when he had gathered all the chief priests and scribes of the people together, he demanded of them where Christ should be born. You know, where's he at? And they said unto him, in Bethlehem of Judea. So now we're going down, and of course, there comes a point where, well, I'll just read it. And when they were departed, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared to Joseph in a dream, saying, Arise, and take the young child and his mother, and flee to Egypt, and be thou there until I bring thee word, for Herod will seek the young child to destroy him. When he arose, he took the young child and his mother by night and departed into Egypt, and was there until the death of Herod, that he might be fulfilled which was spoken of the Lord by the prophet, saying, Out of Egypt have I called my son. Herod, King Herod, the Edomite, the red-faced Edomite. Then Herod, when he saw that he was mocked of the wise men, was exceedingly wroth. He was red-faced, and sent forth and slew all the children that were in Bethlehem, and in all the coasts thereof, from 2 years old and under, according to the time which he had diligently inquired of the wise men. Y'all guys also should remember a few months ago that Trump held an auction on, I think it was New Year's Day, New Year's Eve, and they had an auction, and he had this artist come in and draw Jesus. And then he immediately then sold the painting, auctioned it off for money, for silver, for money, and sold it instantly, immediately. And then he gave the money to Judah. The hospital of Judah, what is it called? The blah, blah, blah. Anyways, we all know Judas is the one that betrayed Christ. Okay. Then it was fulfilled that which was spoken by Jeremy, the prophet, saying, In Ramah there was a voice heard, lamentation and weeping and great mourning. Rachel weeping for her children, and would not be comforted because they are not. But when Herod was dead, behold, an angel of the Lord appeareth into a dream to Joseph in Egypt, saying, Arise and take the young child and his mother, and go into the land of Israel, for they are dead which sought the young child's life. And I could go on with that, and I will, but I've got some other things I want to show you. Got some other things I want to show you. Here's another report reporting about how Trump, a modern day King Herod. And if I do the little search here, come on, fingers work. Okay. President Trump auctioned a live painted portrait of Jesus Christ for $2.75 million during his New Year's Eve party at Mar-a-Lago. Mar-a-Lago, or Lago like a logo, means like a name or a brand. But Mara is a mark. Mara is the preceding 3 letters of the word mark. I'm sure there's something to that as well. It says, the Christian speed painter Vanessa Orabuna created the piece live in about 10 minutes. The auction, Trump served as the auctioneer, opening bid at $100,000 and actively encouraging his attendees, who he joked were loaded with cash. The proceeds, the multi-million-dollar haul from the sale was raised for charity, with the funds reportedly earmarked for Eric Trump's foundation and local law enforcement. That's not what I heard before. That's not what I read. He even said it, that they were going to give it to the hospital that was associated with Judas. Let's see here. Might say it. I'm sure it does here, but I don't need to look it up. I know what I remember, and I'm sure that's where money is claimed to have went. And that should tell you all these pieces falling together are making it pretty clear the role this guy is playing. Whether he is truly bloodline Edomite, I can't say for sure, but I can say for sure he's playing the role. And I can't help but the word Antichrist comes to mind. But because, I mean, he's, what do I say? What do I say? I'm not saying he is, but he, as even the Bible says, there are many Antichrists. I wanted to show you, let's see here. Where's it at? No. Yeah, this one here. I wanted to take a look at Petra with you, okay? Petra is in it's kind of southwest of Israel, basically. And I think I got another map here that'll show a little better where it's at. And we'll look at that here real quick. Let's close this one. Okay. So here we are. Petra, southwest of Israel, as you can see. And this is the area that was inhabited or said to be inhabited. Part of this area and some other areas here that were said to be inhabited by the Edomites, okay, the descendants of Esau. I went over all that in detail in my last video, where you can go and you can look at how I explained a lot of things. Why Trump's face, why he wears this red looking makeup or orange reddish makeup, why he's wearing the red hat. He's using symbolism to say who he is. Now, I'm going to show you something here in a second that's literally undeniable as well. I'll get to it in just a moment. The Edomites have a religion as well, okay? And the religion is called the Edomian religion, which is a Hellenistic religion. They believe in the Greek gods like Apollo, okay? And I've shown you numerous things about it, like Apollo is said to carry a golden spear in his hand, okay? Or a golden arrow in his hand. This is the Mar-a-Lago Trump family crest, and he carries the golden spear in his hand. It's said Apollo is said to be a prophet and disseminates truth to his people or his followers. And Trump just happens to have his own thing, you know. Oh, and I wanted to point this out too here. This is MadisonValentia.net. And I've mentioned a couple times that Trump's New York City penthouse is on the 66th floor. And even though it only has 58 floors, apparently, it is said to be on the 66th floor. And here it is right here saying that, okay? So I ain't just making it up. A couple people think I just make some things up sometime. These are images from inside of Trump's place. This is called a lyre. This thing right here, it's called a lyre. And Apollo is said to keep one. Yep. And of course, You're going to see something here in just a moment that's undeniable. What we're going to do is we're going to look at some of the things here, but specifically, I'm going to show you a piece of architecture and compare it to, let's look at Petra. This is Petra. Let's look at this architecture right here, the way that this right here is made, okay? See how it looks like either leaves or water flowing upwards? And up here at the top, they actually curl in a circle, like right here. Right here, they curl in a circle. And then there's off-shot corners that go out further than what they're supporting. And then there's these little outshoots right here as well, which you can see a little bit better on that one. Looks like wheat or corn or something like that. I'm not positive. Right there. Okay. Here's another view of another one. Look at the little spinny things in the corners and what looks like leaves or waters flowing upwards. And then how it goes up into the corners right here. You see that? Well, look at this. This is inside Trump's 66th floor plaza. Look at the architecture that he chose. It's exactly the same. Exactly the same as in Petra. Now they want to make out like another society created Petra. Yet that other society is also tied to the Edomites in various different ways, and ultimately their belief in some Greek gods, including Apollo. But why did Trump choose to build his things, his pillar and design, exactly the same way as the ones in Petra from thousands of years ago? Anybody want to explain that away? And why would he have imagery of Apollo and Aurora running in front of the sun god leading his way into the morning? A Greek god, the sun god, who carries a golden arrow in his hand and is considered to be the head or the god of the Edomites. It is amazing some of the things I'm able to see, but it's not by me. It's only by the grace of God that I have the ability to find these things. That's undeniable, folks.
These are just a few of the perks of a Type 6 civilization. What would your day-to-day life be like? How far will technology have to advance? And would all this advancement really be...
The architecture does not lie.
And here's what would happen if
The architecture does not lie. And of course, if I start looking into, see, there's the lyre on the desk right there that Apollo is said to possess. And I'm sure if I looked at each individual piece in here, I'd find more and more and more. There's like a chest of gold watches and jewelry and stuff, just complete pride and opulence, just insanity. There's more Greek god imagery on the ceiling here. Here's those pillars again with that, that follow the exact design out of Petra, which Petra itself was actually carved directly into a petrified tree, a giant tree of old It was wood, and they carved directly into the petrified wood, which they now call rock. But they did name it Petra, didn't they? So all of this comes right back all together. This is all about the Edomites and Christ and trying to kill Christ. And that just is amazing. See, that painting back there on the wall is Apollo being led by Aurora, his chariot, Apollo the sun god. And there on these pillows is the Trump family crest with the tip of the spear in his hand. Yep. So let's go back to here. And we're going to go back to Petra. And we're going to look around a little bit. Because I don't know what we're going to see. I've seen a little bit of it, but I don't know what I'm going to see or what's going to catch my eye, really, when I start looking at this. We're going to start out at the treasury and take a look at that. We're going to do it using this. Let's see here. Where was the treasury at? The treasury.
This is Al-Khazna, or the Treasury. Its impressive 40-meter-high facade and elaborate carvings cut deep into the rock face make it a world-famous landmark within Petra. Most archaeologists believe that in Nabatean times, this was a tomb for a person of great significance.
All right, be quiet, lady. So this is just one part of Petra. I didn't realize that Petra had so many, and these are just some of the bigger things. There's caves everywhere along this, all through this route. And again, this is, I showed you on the map where this is basically located at. And what you're looking at here is ancient wood. I'm not positive what kind of a tree it was. With enough study, I imagine it could be figured out. But we'll kind of keep that in mind too when we're trying to look at things here, because we can look all the way around. Of course, there's been a lot of carving. It looks like they had some kind of technology that they could just, I mean, they were huge people back in those days. The Edomites, some or all of them were huge. I mean, look at the size of these people in front of this doorway. This doorway, they would need to be probably, who knows, 20. I mean, that doorway is built for a giant. This building is built for a giant. And if you go inside and go down the hallways and do all that kind of stuff, you'll see that they carved out so that giants, very tall people, like up to 30 foot tall likely. I mean, you got to assume these people are somewhere between 5'6" to 6 foot in that area in there. And you could fit 3 of them in that doorway right there. All right, so let's go look at another location. See what we got. Let's just start down here, I guess.
Before entering Petra, we must pass Bab al-Sik, the main gateway to the city. For first-time visitors to this place all those years ago, these 8-meter-high sandstone god blocks guarding the city and its coveted water supply must have been a truly daunting sight in the middle of the blistering desert.
They had a complete plumbing system that ran throughout this whole area. An extraordinary place.
There are roughly 800 tombs hidden away in and around Petra, and this is the first one encountered along the Sikh by most visitors on their way to the city. Carved by the Nabateans in the 1st century AD, this Egyptian-esque tomb once held 5 people, protected by 4 godlike obelisks above. From its inscription, we know that a man called Abdamankos was interred.
Let's turn her off. The Edomites inhabited and held all of this land for thousands of years. They want to attribute it to, not to the Edomites. You know, they like to lie a lot. And unfortunately, there's nothing we can do about that. Except try to correct what we can. All right, let's move on up the road here.
The journey into the heart of Petra.
I told you to be quiet. I don't have time for your lies. Amazing architecture. And you can imagine what would happen if you had a big rainfall. This would be a river, for sure.
This is Al-Kazma.
Okay, back to the treasury again. A high place of sacrifice. Been quite a bit of, or somewhat some modernization, as you can see here. Like some concrete being used to place blocks and steps and other things, so that the modern man, which is no longer of 20 to 30 foot height, can move around through here. Keep going.
This is
Wrong one.
After visiting the treasury, we come to the Street of Facades.
All right, Street of Facades.
With the Strait of Hormuz closed, more than 20,000 sailors are trapped on around 2,000 vessels in the Gulf. And with Iran's publication of a new map asserting its control over the waterway,
Meaning where they carved a lot of different
they'll be able to move on.
facades or faces or images into the sides
Leave their ships.
of the canyon walls,
Supplies of
which
fresh water.
color this rock is nice and red.
National Transport Working says more than 2,000
So
sailors have called for help.
possible this could be cedar. I would imagine there's probably a tie there somewheres. You can see how on this side that the sun hits this a lot more and it's bleached it out. But if you go turn over here, you can see that this is red. There are a lot of things associated with the Edomites and Esau that has to do with red, because Edom or Esau means red. Because when he was born, he came out red and hairy all over. That's what the Bible says.
Welcome to Petra's 8,000-seat theatre.
8,000 seat theater. Well, you know, they had some parties here. And they got the big fancy booths in the back, carved into the sides. And all this has been carved and cut down and then put in the steps to make it look easy. Maybe it was. We don't know what their true power was like, or what their strength was like, or what magic or maga that they had. We don't know. Let's see, tomb of the Roman soldier. That's what this is called, Tomb of the Roman Soldier. Oh, this looks the same. Maybe that's where I was at. That's Street of Facades, but it looks the same. Let's go to the theater, which we already did.
Well,
Nope.
2000.
Let's go here.
The colonnaded street would have been a large.
So a street full of columns. And you can imagine, obviously, thousands of years ago, there was more than columns here. And this, at that time, this land was a lot more fertile. Had more rain, more life, like you don't see very much out here growing very much at all. You're getting your first poor.
Literally translated as the house of the daughter of the pharaohs, the temple of.
You can only almost imagine what would have been going on here. The Edomites are said to be extremely prideful people, like King Harold, and they love their lavish lifestyles. You can kind of see who else we've been talking about is exactly that way.
This 15-meter high structure became known as Petra's Great Temple in the.
Apparently they had some kind of a temple here at one point. And who did they worship? They worshiped Apollo, the Greek gods. And you can look at the pillars that I showed you earlier. Like we were talking about the different pillars. This is in Petra. And you can see all this is the same and ties right back to all the stuff with Trump and his adornment with Apollo. It's the same people all over again, doing the same things, betraying God. I know this, some of this, if you're even still listening, is hard medicine for some people to believe and to accept for sure.
First of all, the United States has global commitments for our military. So we are constantly reevaluating where we're positioning forces. I think, what's happening now is that any decision that's announced or made is viewed through the broader context of some of the, the frictions that we've had in recent months.
Trump announcing a plan to send an extra 5,000 troops to Poland appeared to be an about-face.
Massive
The Pentagon said it was canceling the
Greek god temple. Pretty wild. I wonder if we can get over there. I'd like to see that one right there.
They arrived back in Italy on Friday to a rapturous welcome. But activists released from Israeli custody
Maybe.
being detained on a flotilla of aid for Gaza returned with stories of abuse organizers said. In an Instagram post by an activist group verified by Reuters, the French national showed
There it is again.
back and on his forearm.
The same design.
Organizers said several of the group were hospitalized with injuries, including broken bones. At least 15 reported
Wish I could zoom in, but
including rape while
I can't.
detention.
It's that same pillar design. Yep.
We are not afraid of China attacking.
Temple of Apollo, basically.
It would take a lot of effort to take over us.
Absolutely amazing.
Using words and military drills will not scare the Taiwanese. We need to have a strong will to stand against them. And so China will think that if they want to attack Taiwan, they need to get us in one go.
All right, let's move on down the road here.
Welcome to Little Petra, a small...
This is not business as usual. This is not more of the same. This is a change by election.
I like looking around at this as much as y'all guys do. Trying to see what I see. I see these, what looks like red blood veins, or veins, should you say, in here. Obviously not exactly blood, maybe, but interesting nevertheless.
The goal here is simple. We want to create even more jobs and value on both sides. With swift ratification, tariffs on virtually all Mexican agriculture.
All right, move on to this one.
This is just one of Little Petra's triclinia, the Latin word for three-person dining area. This space would have been used to wine and dine merchants on their way to the main city.
Yeah, if your merchants were giants.
We are not crazy.
Yeah.
We know that films can't change the world, but in some cases, they can
Three-person.
ring
You could fit
debates and touch hearts in a way that awakens something,
a bunch of people in there. But if they were big boys, well, you might only get three then, I guess. Makes sense when you think about it like that.
Always known they possessed, but being part of something like this, it didn't matter to me.
How big these doors are.
For 3 minutes or 30 or the whole film.
The door size, it is what it is. It means what it looks like it means.
With high walls blocking out the desert sun, the Sikh al-Barid, or Cold Canyon, holds many different tombs.
Marks a return to an institution that I do in fact cherish. It was nearly a generation ago, at another time of great consequence, that I worked.
You got a couple of people squatting down over here. Give you a little size comparison.
My goal now is to create an environment in which the best people can do their life's best work.
This next one, actually, I think it has some actual people there.
At just over 4
monastery, I think, maybe not. I think that was on this, I believe.
I had never seen that image before.
When I was looking at some of these images.
Cross-dressing, performing in a genre of film that is always so much about brutality, harshness, you know.
Anyways,
for ourselves in order to continue.
Yeah, I'm obviously still going to be looking at this because it tells us more as to who we're dealing with here. Know thy enemy. And it's clear that that Mr. T is an enemy of Christ, a mortal enemy from thousands of years ago. They even say that this dude is that Trump is the reincarnation of Esau from the Bible, the hairy giant man, the red man. Wow. I hope you're appreciating this. I've been digging and digging and digging and digging and digging. Not taking much time for anything else, but I got to go out and try to cut the grass today. I finally, after a year and a half, got my lawnmower fixed. I greatly appreciate y'all guys' support. I will be doing a complete update on that, but you have to forgive me when I don't stop doing this research in order to name names. I hope you understand that, but I will get it updated here very soon. I just really just am so enamored in trying to get this information out and understand it for myself and get it to y'all guys so you can digest it and make your own decisions, because you don't necessarily have to take everything I say as being the word, that's for sure. Because it is not the word. But we are learning some very interesting things, are we not? Putting some pieces together that could answer some questions. Should answer some questions. Says that Trump was asking the rabbis when the Mashiach will arrive. Well, Yahushua HaMashiach, the Christ, Mashiach. Hama means like the, Mashiach means the Christ or Christ. Yahushua is like Jesus. Jesus the Christ, Yahushua HaMashiach. He's asking when the Mashiach is coming. Yeah. Thank you to all y'all guys. Thank you to Father in heaven. And I will be back. We will continue on. Please share this with somebody who cares about the truth.
I've got one that can see.
Logic before authority.